Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Laura and this is Culture Nonsense. Thank you for coming back. I just wanted to remind you all to subscribe to this channel if you like this video and like the content, like the video if you like it, and if you have any questions, comments, or actual constructive criticism, feel free to put it in the comments below. I would love to get better at making videos, and if there are any claims in this video that you disagree with, feel free to call me out if I'm wrong, and if not, I'll, have a lovely back and forth with you. I don't want to be mean or nasty. Up top at the beginning of this video, I would like to say that everything I'm about to discuss is, based on my own opinion and research that I've done, and I'm just going to put up, the little YouTube fair use disclaimer. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's get to the content of the video. Today, we're going to be doing my subscriber suggested topic that Pushkin so wonderfully chose for us, and that is a deep dive on Rodan and Fields. Now, originally this person asked me about it in Australia as well, and I really tried to do some research about Rodan and Fields in Australia, and honestly, I couldn't really find anything. I'm assuming it works mostly the same way as it does in the US. I mean, I looked at the compensation plan, it's pretty comparable, but in terms of, specific stories, maybe I could have looked harder, but we're going to focus mostly on the US because these MLMs, pretty much repackage in different countries the same way. So, if the same abuses and practices and how the company is set up, if it's in the US, it's, pretty much going to be in the other countries as well. So I'm actually going to be doing two parts of this because when I got a look at their information disclosure statement, they released the 2021 sometime this year. I know it was after April because I'd seen some people do videos and it hadn't been, put out yet. So sometime in the last 6 months or so, they put out their information disclosure statement, and it is the most damning, this is a scam document that they could have put out. So I'm just going to do a separate video just on that because I think it's really interesting. But anyway, Rodan and Fields. So Rodan and Fields is founded by Katie Rodan and Kathy Fields, and it's headquartered in San Francisco, California. So now these two are actually dermatologists, so it's kind of nice. They have some actual experience in the profession that they've, decided to go into with their MLM, because sometimes the heads of MLMs have nothing to do with the products they have. And these two, like I said, expanded and launched in Canada in 2015 and Australia in September 2017. So it's no longer just a US-based MLM. They have those two countries as well. So interesting fact, a lot of people know this, but Rodan and Fields are the dermatology team who started Proactive. And, I think they had this idea all the way back in 1989, but in 95 it took off. And the thing about Proactive is that, it had a lot of infomercials. It became pretty infamous for all of its celebrity infomercials. And just to name some of them here over the years, we had Alicia Keys, Jessica Simpson, Kelly Clarkson, Justin Bieber, Lindsay Lohan, Mandy Moore, Vanessa Williams, Katy Perry, Avril Lavigne, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Kaylee Cuoco, Adam Levine, Julianne Hough, and most recently, Kendall Jenner. And it's been reported that these celebrities get, a couple $1 million to these Proactive ads, which kind of makes sense to me because for the amount that they are beamed onto the television, I mean, if you had a TV anytime between the year 2000 and 2010, you had to have seen at least a couple hundred of these over your lifetime because they were there a lot on a lot of channels. I've seen many, many Proactive ads in my life. So like I said, these infomercials were actually a really huge success for them. It was a good way for them to market this product. And the thing is that Proactive wasn't necessarily revolutionary, but it was kind of one of the first heavily marketed all over treatments instead of like an acne spot treatment. So a lot of people really liked it, and it did work for a lot of people. So that seems to be a product that, at least as much as any skincare product, did what it said it was supposed to do. So I'm mentioning this and talking about it because Proactive is mentioned a lot in the kind of Rodan and Fields lore when you're trying to build up the company, because it's some, product that's so well known, they can point to it and say, well, we did that too. So that's the same type of, level of quality of product that we have here, except now, it's more advanced and it's more exclusive. So that Proactive was good, but we're even better than Proactive here at Rodan and Fields. And interestingly enough, even though they did start this company, I've seen both 2000 and 2002 in different places. They did market it originally in the traditional way. It was acquired by Estee Lauder and, sold at places like Nordstrom, but I guess it didn't do too well. It wasn't a huge success. So in 2007, Rodan and Fields bought back their company. And then I believe I've seen in their literature in March of 2008 was when they started to do it as a direct selling organization. So like I said, we are the same people who did Proactive. Look at this product. It's been in Nordstrom. Those were some ways that they kind of increase the respectability of the product and say that this is something that really works. Okay, so the actual products, are they that good? Hearing about Proactive, we know, many MLM companies, their products aren't that great. So is it the same with Rodan and Fields? Well, their prices would sure seem to suggest so. If we're comparing it to Proactive, I think, the cost of that is like, I don't know, $30 plus shipping for 3 different full-size products. It's a trio. And if you look at that compared to Rodan and Fields, it's much, much more expensive. I looked at their websites, and out of, I think, the 83 products that are on there, the vast majority were over $50, and sets ranged anywhere from like $150 to $400 plus of these products. And so, you might think that the increased prices are a sign of better formulas, but that seems like that's not really the right answer. In fact, you can see full ingredient lists on their websites. So you can do yourself, you can go and look at the active ingredients and look at other products and kind of see, okay, this one has the same thing, but it's a fifth of the price. And I did that actually. I found an article, I think it's from Bustle, that lists 7 different products that are dupes for Rodan and Fields. So, taking one of their ridiculously expensive products and showing you something that's probably just as good, has good reviews, and it's pretty much the same product, but just without the MLM markup. And I watched Illuminati's video on Rodan and Fields as research for this as well. She did the same thing with a clay mask. She found a clay mask they were selling for, I think it was like $44. And she found a bunch on Amazon that had really great reviews, same active ingredients, and the price range was usually like $7. So that's the thing. These products are okay, they're just not worth what you're paying for them, and that's inherently because in an MLM system, products are marked up so much because you have to pay the commission at every single level in the downline. So, the customer makes up that difference in price. And I mean, sometimes it's just the consultant because they buy it and then they can't find anyone to sell it to. While talking about products, I did want to mention that there have been, I think, a couple complaints about ingredients that they've used, and some ingredients are banned in Europe. Although I think that's not too uncommon for skincare and cosmetics in the US, because in general, the EU has much stricter regulations on what ingredients can be used. So there are a lot of things that have, ingredients banned in Europe that we use here in the US. However, it might be something to look out for. Now, this, however, is pretty interesting. So in 2018, there was a lawsuit filed against Rodan and Fields over their Lash Boost serum, which I think currently retails for $155. It was $150 at the time of this suit. And so I'll put it up here. The suit alleges that Rodan and Fields markets Lash Boost as a cosmetic and does not disclose that it contains a synthetic prostaglandin analog. Prostaglandin analogs can cause side effects such as increased pigmentation of the iris, darkening of the skin around the eyes, inflamed eyelids, eye pain or lid crusting, increased eye irritation, including burning and stinging of the eyes, droopy eyelids, and blurred vision. Prostaglandin analogs are used for the medical management of glaucoma. So if you can see here, I'll have it opened up. Like I said, you have the whole ingredient list here, and I believe it's the seventh one on the list is that prostaglandin analog. So the suit further says that Rodan and Field's failure to list the potential side effects in marketing materials and labels took away consumers' right to know what harm Lash Boost could cause and whether using the product is worth the risk. So this ingredient they used does have the effect of lengthening lashes for some people, but the side effects are really extreme. And by marketing this as a cosmetic, Rodan and Fields did not have to get FDA approval for this product. So the fact that none of these harmful side effects were disclosed is pretty alarming to me. And, it's clear the people in this lawsuit have had some of these side effects, and they're very upset that this information, was not marketed as a potential side effect of this ingredient. Another ongoing legal issue that Rodan and Fields has had is claims that they've made over their retinol. I guess they claimed that it was something like 20 times more effective than competitors, and Procter & Gamble did not like this. And actually, Procter & Gamble and Olay have gotten into disputes over this retinol claim. And at one point, one of them threatened to report Rodan and Fields to the FTC over this. And, they said that the advertising claims are false. And Rodan and Fields didn't really have evidence to back up their claims. It's something that happens in MLMs all the time. They just state something as fact. And then when you try to argue with them about it, they don't really even have a rebuttal. They just keep saying that this is the way it is, even though they can't actually show any evidence to prove it. I mean, if their retinol were really that good, how would they even come to this number that it's 20 times more effective if there weren't some kind of study or something, but they just had nothing to show? Okay, so now that we know some kind of red flags about Rodan and Fields' business and products, let's talk about actually being in the company itself. So according to their website, Rodan and Fields now has over 500 employees, and these are actually employees of the company. Just over 351,000 consultants, and that number I found on their information disclosure statement, and over 2 million customers. So right off the bat, this information is kind of concerning because that's not too many more customers than there are consultants. If you break it down, that's less than 6 customers per consultant. And if you want to be really generous and just assume that, half of the people are registered just to get the discount and only half of them are actually selling and trying to make some money, that's still 11 customers per consultant. And I don't know about you, but I don't think I could make a living selling skincare to just 11 people. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about the compensation plan. So I'm going to kind of try to put this up on the screen as well. So as you can see, the way that you rank up in Rodan and Fields is by selling more product. However, ranking up requires 100, and I'm assuming dollars here. They don't really state it, but I'm assuming it's dollars in sales volume, and $600 of personally sponsored qualifying volume, which is generated by preferred customers whom you personally enroll in the PC Perks program and consultants whom you personally sponsor, including qualifying volume from retail consumers. So then basically you move up the ranks by having people below you move up the ranks, all while collecting percentages of all the people below you. So it's pretty funny, honestly, the compensation plan even forgets to include the personal sales requirement from the third graphic onward. So in my opinion, the message here is pretty clear. Build a team to make more money. And it's even clear from how the qualifying volume is set up, because you need to sell $100 to maintain rank, but also your team needs to generate at least $600 from buying products. I mean, you can make it in multiple ways, but I think the easiest way that most people would maintain that is just by, having their team buy things. Because, and anyone here, correct me if I'm wrong, this is a little bit confusing to me, but the way this seems like it's set up to me is that if you have 6 people under you and they want to continue trying to rank up, okay, well, they all have to have $100 of a personal sales volume. So if you're the upline and you have 6 people underneath you, you make your $100 of personal sales, and they each, have that $100 because they want to maintain their rank. So then there you've done it. Like with 6 people just making their, maintaining qualifying purchases, you've made the $600 that you were supposed to be making from, all of these different areas. It seems like the easiest way is just to have people under you spend that money. And so again, like, which one is the bigger number here? If it were really just about your personal sales, why wouldn't your personal sales be the larger number? The sales that you're supposed to get from your team is like 6 times larger than what your personal sale is supposed to be. So it just seems to me that, you need to sell $100 a month, and if you can't find anyone to buy that, you just buy it yourself to maintain rank. So again, yes, you do constantly need to spend money if you actually want to maintain your rank or rank up. This is something they say all the time, like, you don't need to spend any money. And it's true, you don't need to if you just want to stay at the bottom rank, where the low end of annual income before expenses is $20 a year. So yeah, if you want to do anything in the company, you have to be spending at least $100 a month. And I did forget that their starter kit is $75. So that's your startup cost, $75. Something else I want to talk about is that as a consultant for an MLM company, you are a 1099 contracted employee. Rodan and Fields is no different, and this means that your taxes are going to look a little different as well. So this gets further complicated by, all of the incentives that might be dangled in front of you. So like any freebies like trips or car programs, they're just never really free. And let's break down how that's the case. So let's say you get offered a trip and it's actually all expenses paid, which is again pretty rare. Like they pay for your flight and your hotel and a food package, everything. Let's say it's all inclusive, and this entire trip with all those things costs, $5,000, let's say. Well, Rodan and Fields is going to put down that $5,000 that they spent on you, it's recorded as income in your taxes. So you have to pay taxes on that $5,000 as if it were income. So no, it's not free, because even if, again, this is rare, they pay for absolutely everything, you still have to pay for taxes on the trip. And now this is one of my favorite things to talk about, the car bonus program. Okay, so again, I'm going to put this up on the screen. We're going to talk about their car program here. So basically the way it works is that if you reach a certain rank, you have to have a personal team volume of $7,500 or higher. So pretty much, once you get to this level, you can qualify for the car program. And so how this happens is that, it says each consultant will be responsible for his or her own lease or purchase and vehicle management. The lease or purchase of this vehicle must be in the name of the active consultant who qualifies for the program. So first of all, right here, they're not buying you a free car. You are going to be ultimately responsible for it. You will have to pay for maintenance, and it has to be in the name of the consultant. So that is another way that some people don't get the car, because if you have really bad credit, they're not going to lease it to you. And a lot of people aren't going to choose the purchase option because this program is only for a period of 36 months. And the cars here are Lexuses. So those are pretty expensive. So if you're going to pay it off completely in 36 months with, again, they don't have any down payment, I'm assuming that the $750 a month they pay over 36 months isn't going to completely pay it off. So most people choose the lease option. And so for that lease option, you're completely responsible for it. And the thing is, if you do not maintain your rank, you do not get this car allowance bonus. So let's say you slip a month. It says right here, consultants must maintain program qualification for each commission period to receive car allowance for that period. So like, let's say you have a bad month and you don't make your sales goal. Too bad, you're out of the program now and they're not going to pay you for that month for your car lease. So you have to pay it yourself because you are responsible and your name is on the car. So first of all, if you have bad credit, you're probably not going to be able to get the car in the first place. And this is what we see all the time from people in like Monate who say like, I'm car qualified, but they don't have the car. Well, the reason is because they have such bad credit, they can't get it. And then again, it's just a car bonus. They don't pay for it. They're just giving you something extra. And then, you might not be able to keep it every month. And again, this $750, let's say you are a really good performer and you're able to have that bonus for the entire year. That's $9,000 that you now have to pay taxes for again. So it's not free. And in fact, it is very, very hard to consistently maintain your rank. So I would say there are a lot of people who've had to pay for, some of this themselves. I will have all of this linked down below in the description too, if you'd like to give it a closer look, because there's even a section down at the bottom talking about how they could do, clawbacks for stuff. So it's just not, it's a very scammy program. They say it's a free car, but it is not free in any way. So the last thing that I want to talk about today is how the performance of Rodan and Fields has actually been declining in recent years. I'm going to link a Forbes article down below that actually talks about how Rodan and Fields were listed on, the Forbes list of billionaires. They used to be valued at $1.5 billion each, but they were actually downgraded to a net worth of $800 million each because the company just has not been performing well recently. And this could be one reason why some of these Huns were so aggressive at the beginning of the pandemic, because in April of 2020, they were actually sent a letter by the FTC. And this letter was a warning basically saying that you're making claims that cannot be substantiated, so you better stop. So this letter here lists some examples of earning claims like, Rodan and Fields is always open for business even during quarantine. I've been working from home for over 3 years now and still making money when other people aren't. Isn't it about time you found out what it is I do and how the company really works? Hashtag work from home, hashtag financial freedom. We all need something to fall back on when plan A crumbles. For many people right now, the plan A is no longer providing. Given what we are all at home trying to manage this new normal, let's chat and get all your questions answered and start getting that plan B up and running. Bring in that extra income. Hashtag extra income, hashtag financial freedom. The text accompanied an image with the text, no risk, no experience needed, and can be profitable immediately. Lies. During an uncertain time like this, one thing I am grateful for is the residual income from my home-based business. If you're struggling and could use an extra few $100s a month, why not give this a try? Hashtag residual income. The image accompanying the post states, I have spots available on my team. 3 exclamation points. If you want to make an extra $200, $500, or $1,000 a month, message me. And again, it's very interesting that they actually put income claims in here, because the information that we have from Rodan and Fields is that the average consultant makes $462 a year. Again, before expenses. So first of all, right off the top, take away that, $75 that you had to spend for your starter kit. So now you're under $400. Then take off any product that you weren't able to sell that you bought yourself. So I'm assuming most people, again, are actually at a net loss. And the fact that there are only a couple people up at the very top who are making, like a couple $1 million, the average to be so low means that there have to be so many people making nothing or losing money. So I hope you could see that after this, Rodan and Fields is pretty much like any other MLM. It is not a better opportunity. The information from their website itself says that on average, you're going to make $462 a year. And even that is like a very rosy outlook compared to most people. So don't join. Don't do it. Like they say, do your research all the time. And like, here's the research. I will put down the links. And I think the most interesting information is from the company itself. So like I said, stay tuned for that specific video on the information disclosure statement I'm doing, because it is just literally, you can see that no one's making money. They put it all right there. So I will be back with my next video soon. Remember to like this video if you like it, subscribe if you would like more content like this, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.